This video is for training purposes only. No real patient information has been used.
So Derek, thank you so much for waiting patiently with us. You indicated earlier that a partner told you to come in to get HIV testing. I'm here to kind of go over your results with you. I want to mention that everything that we discuss in this space is confidential and related to your care. And I will be taking notes because I want to make sure that we have the best information moving forward, okay? Your test results for HIV did come back positive.
Okay.
Okay, tell me where you are right now and your thoughts.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about that.
I thought, I was told to come in, so I thought something might be going on, but yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so so what we're gonna do right now is I just wanna get a little bit more clear information on you and your sexual health. What would be the best number to follow up with you on?
703 555 5505.
Okay. And where are you currently staying?
I live alone.
You live alone? And where do you stay?
In an apartment.
Okay, what's that address?
123 Main Street.
How long have you been living there?
2 years.
2 years. And if you had to put anyone on your file for emergency contact, who would that be?
My mother.
Okay, what's her name?
Erica.
And her last name?
Oh, my last name also.
Okay. And best contact number for her?
The same as mine, but a 6 instead of a 5 in the last digit.
Thank you. So Derek, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about your previous testing history. I know that this is a whole lot of information at one time. Please, if at any point you feel a little overwhelmed, let me know. My role here is to give you some information, assist you into getting into care, but also I want to be patient with you and take whatever time you need, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What questions do you have for me at this time?
What are you writing down?
Sure. So as I said before, going to be making sure we're taking the appropriate notes down. This is confidential information and related to your care. I just want to make sure that we have the right information. That being, so for example, you giving me your contact information. In the event that I need to follow up with you, I want to make sure I'm reaching out to you appropriately and that I don't have the wrong number. So I just want to make sure that we have all that information, okay? What other questions do you have?
I don't. I'll
Okay.
ask if I come up with any.
Okay, very good. So prior to testing today for HIV, when was the last time you would have tested for HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia?
For HIV, a couple months ago. Anything else, it's been a year.
Okay. And when you say a couple of months ago, when and where was that to your recollection?
That would have been in June.
Okay.
At a pharmacy.
Okay. And was that a finger prick, a mouth swab?
A finger prick.
Okay. And what was that result?
Negative.
Okay. And you indicated over a year ago, in the last year, you got tested for gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where did you get tested?
At the health department.
And what were your test results?
Negative.
Negative? When was the last time you tested positive for an STI?
I've had chlamydia a couple times.
Okay. And when were those times?
One was in college, and the second one was a few years ago.
A few years ago? When was college for you?
Like 2008, 2007, 2008.
Okay. And a few years ago, when would that have been?
2015.
Okay. And was treatment had?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. All right, and let's talk about any antibiotics in the last year. So when was the last time you had to take any antibiotics going back to September of last year?
I had the flu last year.
Okay, around about what time?
November.
And how long were you on those medications, if you can recall?
For a week.
A week. What pre-existing health conditions do you have, such as diabetes, hypertension, osteoporosis, arthritis?
I have prehypertension.
Okay. What medications are you taking?
I'm
if any?
not.
Okay. What about psychobehavioral disorders, such as anxiety, depression?
No.
Okay. Derek, are you currently employed?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work at the McDonald's.
McDonald's? How long have you been there?
5 years.
All right. That's a long time. You must really like it.
No.
No? Tell me more about that.
I'm looking for another job.
Okay. What would you like to do?
I don't know. I just need a change.
Okay. Fair enough. I definitely understand that. What do you do at McDonald's?
I'm a chef manager.
Right on. That's a big deal. Well, I definitely hope you find what you're looking for in terms of new work. All right, so now we're going to kind of get into when you're not working, what do you like to do on your free time?
I go out to the movies, go to bars, I hike.
Right on. There's some really great places around here in Virginia to hike.
Mm-hmm.
What bars do you like to go to?
Just local gay bar.
Local gay bars? Enlighten me, which ones do you go to?
I like Trade. Yeah, that would be my normal spot actually.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about recreational drug use and some more social information from you.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you were incarcerated?
I've never been incarcerated.
Okay. And going back to September of last year, when was the last time you used crack?
Never.
Okay. Cocaine?
No.
Marijuana?
Last week.
Okay. Methamphetamines?
No.
Heroin?
No.
Poppers?
2 days ago.
Viagra?
Never.
Okay. Alcohol?
Yesterday.
And so the reason why I asked you those questions, Derek, and thank you so much for that information, is that we make different decisions when we're under the influences of drugs and or alcohol. We're in American culture, and that's kind of part of the life, right? When was the last time that you had sex under the influences of drugs and or alcohol?
Describe under the influence.
Right, there's a spectrum, right? So we've got, you're buzzing, feeling good, all the way to blackout drunk. So anything on that spectrum.
2 days ago.
Okay. All right. So some more social information about you. When was the last time that you had sex with a cis male?
2 days ago.
When was the last time you had sex with a cis female?
What is cis?
Okay, cis is basically an identity where someone identifies the same sex that they were assigned at birth. So a woman identifies as the same sex as she was when she was born.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. So when would have been the last time you had sex with a cis female?
Never.
Okay. When was the last time you had sex with a transgender person?
Never.
When was the last time you had sex with an anonymous partner? This means someone that you didn't know.
Didn't know in what sense?
Great question. So anonymous meaning may not know the name of that person, could have been a hookup, don't know a lot of information about them.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. When was the last time you had sex with a male that injects drugs?
I don't know.
To your knowledge, any partners that inject drugs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. When was the last time you had unprotected sex?
2 days ago.
Okay. All right. So, getting back to a couple of things. Well, let me check in with you. How are you doing right now?
I'm alright.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you, in your lifetime, in your sexual lifetime, how many partners would you say you've had? This includes oral sex only and penetrative sex.
More than I can count.
Okay, fair enough. Would you say more than 50, more than 100, more than 1,000, more than 10? Where would you say an estimate?
More than 10,000. More than 100 maybe.
Okay, right on. And in the last year, going back to September of last year, how many partners would you say you've had?
I don't know, 20 maybe.
Okay. Do you top, bottom, are you versatile?
I'm first.
Okay, right on. And what types of sex do you typically engage in?
How do you mean?
Oral, vaginal, anal?
Oral and anal.
Okay. Do you give and receive for oral?
Yes.
Okay. And imaginatively, versatile, both. Right on. All right. So what we're going to talk about now is just, I want to hear from you what you understand about your diagnosis, your HIV diagnosis. What is HIV to you?
It's a disease.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's a disease that stays with you.
Okay.
Like there's not a cure,
Okay.
but you can be treated.
Okay.
And I don't know. That's. I'm not sure what more I can say about
Sure, sure. So if it's all right with you, Derek, I'd like to just give you kind of the meats and bones of what HIV is.
Okay.
HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. The way that I like to explain it to individuals is basically there's a virus that attacks certain cells in your body and replicates over time, making it very difficult for your immune system to fight off various kinds of microorganisms or things that we can't see with our own eyes. Where we are with science now is that there is a pill that you could take, or there is medication that you can take on a daily basis. Yes, there is no cure at this time, but there is medication that can manage your HIV diagnoses. What that medication does is you want to kind of be thinking about viral load versus your cells, your soldier cells is what I like to call them, or your CD4 cells. Those are the cells that work with us in our immune system, okay? So what happens is if you've got a lot of the virus replicating as it does, they're going to attack your soldier cells. What medication does is it manages your viral load, brings it down to a level where it gives your body time to build your immune system, or your CD4 cells, also known as what I call the soldier cells. Okay? So yes, it's a medication that you'd have to take for the rest of your life until there's a cure. But pretty much where HIV now is, it's more of a chronic illness than anything else. What questions do you have for me at this time?
I mean, how do you get on treatment?
Yeah, that's something that we're going to definitely work on today. There are a number of great organizations in the Richmond area, should you decide Richmond would be the place where you'd want to go, that we can get you worked up and started on getting into care. That is a process. It depends on which organization you want to go to, but definitely that's something we can do today, talk about today, okay? I also want to just explain to you that according to Virginia laws, you are required by law to disclose your status, your HIV status, to sexual partners, but this is your diagnosis to own, Derek. So you don't have to tell anyone else if you do not feel inclined to, okay? Another thing to keep in mind is that there are a lot of people that are living with HIV. Again, it is a chronic illness. They live out their life expectancies. Is life easy outside of any health condition or any struggles in the world? No, because life is life and we have to adult and do all of that hard stuff, but definitely want to let you know that there are options out there. You can reach what is called an undetectable viral load, which means that there's such few of the virus in your body that they still exist, and so much of your soldier cells that it makes it almost virtually impossible for you to pass it on to a partner, a sexual partner.
But I would still need to tell people.
Absolutely. You would need to tell sexual partners.
Why do I need to do that if I can't give them the disease?
Okay, that's just part of the disclosure laws for Virginia. So that is a requirement, despite the fact that you can get down to a undetectable viral load, that is still a requirement. What other questions do you have? That was a really good one.
I don't, not that I can think of.
Okay. So there are various fluids that can pass the virus on. What have you heard of in terms of fluids that can transmit?
Blood, semen, vaginal fluid.
Okay. You got a good amount of them, yeah, for sure. So blood, semen, vaginal fluid, pre-cum, anal fluid, and breast milk of a mother that is living with HIV. So what that also means is that tears, sweat, what other fluids do we have here? Saliva are not, there's not enough of a quantity of the virus to pass on to partners, so that's just important to know. Okay? What questions do you have at this time?
None.
All right. So what we're going to talk about now is we're going to get a little bit more into, you said that you meet partners in various ways. Tell me a little bit more. You go to bars. When was the last time you met a partner at a bar?
Never.
Okay. How do you meet your partners?
Online.
Online? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I meet them online.
Okay. What's on where online?
Oh, Grinder,
Okay.
Scruff, Jacked.
Those are some awesome apps. Where else?
Usually just those.
Okay. And where do you normally have sex with your partners?
Not in public.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Homes.
Fair enough. Yes. Homes is an option. Your home, their home.
Mhm.
Is that what I'm imagining? Okay. What about hotels?
Yeah, counts.
I mean, some people like it in the cars. It just depends on where you are. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. And so, let's see here. Meet partners on Grindr, Jacked. And the last time you said you had sex was 2 days ago?
Mhm.
All right. When was the first time you had sex with that person?
That was the first time.
Okay. Was that protected, unprotected,
Unprotected.
penetrative sex?
Yes.
What about oral sex?
Yes.
Did you top, bottom, were you verse?
Top.
Okay. How did you meet that person?
Like on the internet.
Which site?
Oh, on Grindr.
Right on. What's that person's name?
I do not know.
Okay. That's the convenience of apps, right? Like you can have one-time hookups if you feel inclined to.
Yeah, it wasn't a personal connection.
Okay, right on. Other than that person, let's say, what's a description of that person? Give me something that stood out to that person if you can recall.
We're really fit.
Fit? So we're gonna call that person Fit, Mr. Fit. When was the last time you had sex with someone that wasn't Mr. Fit?
The week before that.
Week before that? What day was that, if you can recall?
Thursday.
Thursday. And who was that with?
That was my partner.
Your partner?
Mhm.
And what's your partner's name?
Steve.
Steve. And when was the very first time you all had sex?
2016.
2016? Okay. Around about what part of the year, if you can recall?
It was August.
August? And how often between 2016 and last week would you say you all have had sex?
I mean, a couple times a week.
Okay. Protected, unprotected?
Starting off protected, but then, unprotected for a while now.
And versatile sex?
Yeah,
What about oral?
also.
And how did you meet Steve?
We met through friends.
Right on. A little bit of old school in there. That's how you can meet partners for sure. Who other than Steve or Mr. Fit come to mind the last time that you had sex with someone that wasn't either one of those folks?
I was on a trip a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Was that for work or pleasure?
No, pleasure.
Right on. And where'd you go?
Miami.
Miami's a cool place to go.
Mhm.
Was that your first time there?
Yes.
Right on. And who was that with?
That was just with someone who was, lives in Miami.
Lives in Miami? Okay. What was their name?
I don't know.
Okay. How would you describe them? Something that stood out to them in terms of their features.
They're tall.
Tall? We're gonna call him Mr. Tall. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. And so that was last week you said, I'm sorry?
No, that was maybe, that was maybe 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
What is today?
Today is Tuesday, the 10th.
Yeah, okay, that was the beginning of August.
August. And when was the first time you had sex with them?
That was the one and only time.
One time?
Mm-hmm.
What types of sex did you all engage in?
I bottomed.
Okay. And how did you meet Mr. Tall?
Unchecked.
Where did you all have sex?
In my hotel room.
Hotel did you stay at?
The Edition.
I heard that's a really cool hotel.
It is a very cool hotel.
Right on. They have a pool and everything. Aside from individuals named previously, when was the last time you had sex with someone that wasn't Mr. Tall or Steve or Mr. Fit?
Like 3 months ago, my ex.
3 months ago, okay. Help me with the math here, Derek. I'm a little rusty. Haven't had to do that too much. Let's see. So we're looking at
It's June.
June, okay.
Yeah.
Around about what time? What part of June?
Early June.
Early June. And when was the first time you had sex with him?
In college.
College? Remind me.
2007.
Okay. Does the season ring a bell at all?
No, I couldn't.
It's okay. It's all right. It's been a
It's
while.
fundamentally a blur.
Fair enough. And what types of sex since from 2007 until June did you all engage in?
No, you name it.
Okay. And how often would you all have sex?
Well, when we were dating, regularly, but I hadn't seen him in a long time, and so we just hooked up the one time.
Okay.
I rented him
When was the one time that you all hooked up? I'm sorry.
in June.
In June, okay. So when you all were dating, when did you all terminate your relationship or stop dating? If you
2011.
2011. And how often would you all date between 2007 have sex between 2007 and 2011?
I would say probably in 2007 daily, 2011 maybe once every couple weeks.
Very healthy. And what was your ex's name?
What was Joe?
Joe? Okay. Other than these folks, when was the last time you had sex with someone that wasn't them?
I mean, really that kind of covers it for going back to almost since I was sexually active.
Okay, okay. So, Derek, thank you so much for this information. You might be wondering what we're gonna do with this. So it is very important that previous partners get notified to come in for testing, to be assessed for their status as well. Oftentimes, sexually transmitted illnesses do not have any signs or symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
When you came in, you were notified by a partner, right? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
And who was that partner?
That was my ex.
Your ex, Joe, okay. And so, that's really great that he communicated that with you. Sometimes we have folks that, don't feel inclined to share that information. So I want to give you some options. I'm here to work with you, not against you. These folks do need to be notified to come in to get testing at some capacity. So the options are, if you feel inclined, you can definitely tell them, but we need to make kind of a contract agreement with that. We can do it together where you disclose that information to a partner if you feel inclined and I can be in the room, or I can reach out and provide that information to partners or another health counselor, depending on where they're located in the United States. With me doing that, that kind of takes the weight off of you and that burden that you might feel like you have in disclosing that information. And by law, I have to maintain your confidentiality. What questions do you have for me right now?
So what if I just decide to tell all my partners?
Okay. If you decide to tell your partners, one risk you run is that they do not have to keep your information private. They can do whatever they want with that information. On my end, I can protect your information. I can't disclose your status, your name, any identifiable information down to exposure. What we do is we want to reach out to partners to offer them that testing.
But if they haven't had sex with anyone but me, then they would know.
It'd be a little bit difficult to note, right? A lot of your partners, you indicated that you met on Grindr. Doesn't necessarily mean you were the only person that they've had sex with. And we're all human. So how sure would you be that these partners had only one partner, being you?
Mm-hmm.
How confident are you in that?
My boyfriend probably hasn't.
Okay, probably hasn't. And tell me a little bit more about that.
We have in the past played together a little bit,
Okay.
but that's not routine.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he might be suspicious.
He might be suspicious if he got a phone call from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and your boyfriend, remind me, who is that? Your current partner, Steve?
Yes.
Apologies, yes. So you're saying that you'd like to tell him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there is a way we could do that. What would it look, tell me what that conversation would look like on your end.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously I would have to think
Sure,
about
sure.
how it would go down.
Let's practice that. Let's talk about it. You live alone, so where does Steve live anyway?
He has an apartment.
Okay, where does he live, like locationally
Oh.
in the States?
In Alexandria.
Okay, so first and foremost, when would you be able to have that conversation with Steve?
I mean, over the phone, immediately, in person, maybe this weekend.
Okay, when would you like to disclose that information to him?
I mean, I guess it would probably have to come up pretty quickly. If we were to have sex, I would have to tell him.
Yes.
So, then,
Okay.
by
Okay.
then.
So you would make a trip to visit him and tell him person to person?
No, I would probably tell him over the phone.
Over the phone. Okay. What do you think will happen in that conversation?
I don't know that I can think about that right now.
Okay. That is something that in reality, you'll want to need to really think about, because
Yeah.
if he's a steady partner, you want to get him in, get him taken care of, make sure that he is aware.
Right.
And now, and recognizing that you all have had a consistent relationship for a while, even if you've had, some playtime together, that's not to necessarily say he hasn't had other partners before as well.
Mm-hmm.
So with someone in Alexandria, a health counselor can reach out to him there. It does not have to be, it won't be me. That's a different location, so a different health counselor would be able to do that without disclosing your information.
Okay.
How would you feel about that?
Sure.
Okay. What would be the best way to get in touch with Steve?
He has a new cell phone number,
Okay.
so I'll have to get his new number for you.
Okay. What's Steve's last name?
Johnson.
Johnson. And how old is Steve?
32.
32. And describe Steve for me. What are some traits? How does he?
He's
stand
a
out?
little taller than me.
And I'm sorry, you've been sitting down. How tall are you?
Oh, I'm 5'8".
Right on.
So he's maybe 5'9", 5'10".
Okay.
He has blonde hair.
Blonde hair.
Um,
Is he black, white, Latino, Hispanic?
his Latino's hair's dyed.
Okay. What about tattoos, piercings?
He has one ear pierced.
And you said his hair was blonde,
Mhm.
straight, curly.
Straight.
Okay. What's his build like?
He's like a little, like, chubby kind of.
Okay. All right. So when would you be able to get me that contact information for Steve?
I have it at home.
Okay. So what would it look like for me to reach out to you by tonight? Would
That's
that be
fine.
a possibility?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. How are you doing with all this information right now, Derek?
It's a lot. I'll have to do some, processing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is overwhelming. Again, just want to make sure that your previous partners are also taken care of. And we're going to make sure that you're taken care of today. There's going to be steps to this process, but we'll work through it together.
Yeah, I think part of it is that, like, I have a pretty good idea because, I was told to come in.
Okay.
So, it's not, I still know this person.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I think, where I am right now is, like.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So now, like, either you or me have to go back to the person that I think infected me and tell them that someone thinks they should be tested.
Okay.
So, that's just a little strange.
What do you find strange about that?
Well, that person is positive and told me to come in,
Okay.
and so then we'll be getting news that someone that they were in contact with tested positive. So I'm not sure that I want to have a conversation with my ex, who I'm pretty sure is the one that infected me, just based on the conversation that I had.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that it sounds like you think that someone who reached out to you
Because I was
told you
to
that
come
they
in,
were, okay, so you were told to come in by a partner, and you believe that they infected you with HIV, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he told me he talked to you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to know who that was, but tell me, who are you referencing?
No, it was Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, Joe told me to come in.
Okay, so Joe
But he
told
said
you.
he tested positive and talked to someone at the health department. And
Okay.
then, so he told me I need to. I mean, he did the thing you're doing now.
Gotcha, so for
He's
you,
to
it's,
me, yeah.
gotcha, so it sounds like, what I hear you saying is that if a partner told you to come in, because they said they tested positive for HIV, and then if
And then
I
I
have to,
named them. And
okay.
Now you
Gotcha.
Back to that. Yeah.
I see what you're saying, so you're saying it sounds like, it looks like a little triangle.
It's a little triangle.
Okay, yeah, that can be really overwhelming. Ultimately, I'm sorry, I can't confirm or deny that I've spoken with anyone, but what I can say is that we just want to make sure all of your partners are notified. Regardless of what has been told to you or not, we got to make sure that all of your partners are taken care of.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit more about Joe. What's his last name?
Smith also.
Smith? Okay, no relation.
Yeah.
Okay, how old is Joe?
28.
28. And where is Joe living?
Joe lives in Roanoke.
Roanoke. And so once again, that's out of the Richmond areas. A health counselor in Roanoke can definitely reach out to Joe accordingly. What would be the best way to get in touch with Joe?
Well, I mean, someone already has his number, right? Like, he's the health department client. This is the part that is weird to me.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Okay, but his number, it's 540
540
808
808
1111.
1111. So I'm not 100% sure about the information that you shared with me, but I want to be able to make sure that if Joe needs to be reached out to, we can do that and do it confidentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So Joe's 28. Thank you for that information on best way to reach out to him. Describe him for me. How would I know I was looking at Joe in a crowd of people?
He's short. I mean, he's like 5'4", maybe.
Okay.
Dark skin. I mean, last time I saw him, he had like long hair, but he gets it cut regularly, so.
Okay. And when you say dark skin, what ethnicity and or race?
He's black.
Okay. My complexion, lighter,
Darker.
darker. And his build, describe that for me.
He's, regular. I wouldn't say that he's particularly in good shape. He's not overweight. He's
Okay.
Regular build.
What are some features that stand out on Joe?
To be honest, he's actually kind of unremarkable.
Okay.
He's normal looking. Yeah,
Tattoos, piercings?
he has a tattoo
Where's that tattoo?
on his arm.
On his arm. On which arm? If
The
you
right arm.
And what's the tattoo of?
It's a flower.
Right on. Flowers are a great tattoo. I'm seeing that all around. And you said Joe lives in Roanoke. This is his best contact number. What else can you tell me about Joe? When's his birthday?
I do not know his
That's
birthday.
okay. That's all right. Where did you all have sex?
We were living together in college when, back a couple months ago, at his place. Or his hotel, I should say. He was in the area.
Okay, so he, just so that I'm
He was
clear.
visiting.
He was visiting, so
Correct.
the one-timer that you all had in June.
That was here.
That was here in Richmond. And what hotel did he stay at?
The Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn on 5th?
Yes.
Okay. I've had family that come in and out of there all the time. Thank you for that. Let's backtrack, and apologies for jumping around. Let's go back to Fit. Mr. Fit. What can you tell me about him?
Sorry, you'll have to remind me who that.
Absolutely.
These descriptors, I get lost.
Sure. So Mr. Fit, you had sex with him 2 days ago.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. What was your question?
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about Mr. Fit, his description. What would
Okay.
stand out in a crowd if I saw Mr. Fit?
He has really long hair.
Long hair?
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing a trend with you. You like long hair. Okay. What color hair?
Brown.
Brown. Describe the texture of the hair for me.
It's wavy.
How old is Mr. Fit?
About my age. I mean, you know, on the apps, it's not
Okay.
always all there.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
accurate.
Sure. And then ethnicity of Mr. Fit.
He's white.
Height.
I don't know, 6'1"-ish.
Okay. And build?
Fit.
Of course, that was
Yeah.
why we gave him
That
the
really
name for
is
sure.
that's the thing about him, actually.
Right on. Right on. What about facial hair?
Yeah, he has a goatee.
Eye color?
Brown.
And how could I best get in touch with him?
Do you have a Grinder account?
I think I could find a Grindr account.
Okay, well then, go to the corner of Cary and Boulevard, and I imagine he's somewhere nearby.
Okay. And where did you all have sex?
At his place.
At his place. Where is he living?
Over in the West End.
What other helpful information can you think of about Mr. Fit?
He works in Carytown.
Okay. What does he do?
I do not know, but that's where I found him.
Okay. Makes sense. What name did he go by?
I don't have his name.
Okay.
I didn't get that far.
And so you mentioned obviously Grindr is a place where what's his handle? Or name?
I think it was just like a cat emoji, actually.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Derek, so it looks like we've gone over. Let's, the last person that we have here so far is Mr. Tall. You had sex with him in Miami.
Oh yeah, okay.
Tell me a little bit more about him. Describe him for me.
Well, he's tall.
Mhm.
He's pretty skinny. I think he's mixed, maybe.
Okay, mixed with what if you had to guess?
I don't know, it just says mixed.
Okay. How tall would you say?
6'3".
6'3"? And how old would you say?
40s?
Okay. What about hair, facial hair?
None.
No facial hair?
Bald.
And bald head?
Mhm.
Okay. And how would I be able to best get in touch with Mr. Tall?
I don't know.
You don't
To be
know?
honest, I don't know.
Okay. How would you all communicate in the past?
Over Jacked.
Over Jack?
Mhm.
What was his name on Jack?
I can't remember. It might have just been like local top.
Local top?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that stuff changes, you know.
Sure. What did he tell you about work, if anything?
He works in the addition.
Addition, okay. All right. This has been a lot of information. Tell me where you are right now.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Okay. Who else comes to mind that you think that might have been a partner in the last year that you might have forgotten about?
No.
Okay. Who do you think could benefit, anyone that you know could benefit from testing? That may not necessarily be someone that you've had sex with.
Joe has a boyfriend. He should probably be tested.
Okay. What's Joe's boyfriend's name?
I don't know. I see them on Instagram.
Okay, they're on Instagram. What's Joe's handle?
I'll have to find it if I don't remember.
Sure. So we'll definitely work on that follow-up latest tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
How does that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And describe Joe's boyfriend for me, if you would.
He's ugly.
Okay. When you say ugly, what do you mean by that?
He has a very confusing expression most of the time.
So he looks confused?
Yes.
Okay. Ethnicity or
White.
race? White? How tall would you say he was based off of the Instagram pictures?
I don't know, about my height probably.
Okay. So 5'8"?
Ish.
All right. What, aside from quote ugly, what other features would you say stand out?
He has a unibrow.
Okay. Unibrows are all the rage now.
Yeah, it's fashionable.
Eye color?
Blonde. Oh, that's
Blonde.
hair, sorry. Eye color, green.
Okay. And since we're on hair, what about his hair?
It changes.
Okay.
I think he wears wigs.
Okay. Yeah, wigs are very convenient. When the last time you saw a picture of them, what kind of wig was he wearing?
Box braids.
Okay. All right. How old would you say Mystery Man is?
I think he's early 30s.
Early 30s. Tattoos, piercings, glasses?
None that I have seen. Oh, glasses, but not piercings or tattoos.
Thank you. All right. So before we wrap up, just a couple of things, right? You've been very patient with me, and I do appreciate that. Like I said before, we just want to get in touch with partners and make sure that they're also taken care of. But now we're on the topic of you, right?
Uh-huh.
We're going to go ahead and have you sign this CCSA form. It's a form that just allows us to have someone work with you and getting you into care. Something to kind of keep in mind, Derek, is that oftentimes I get told, well, I've gotten the big one, right? I've gotten diagnosed with HIV. You can get diagnosed with various strands of HIV that can complicate your medication.
Uh-huh.
So we definitely want to keep that in mind. What are some ways that you can protect yourself that will work for you to protect yourself against future STIs?
I mean, I can use condoms.
Okay, how realistic is that for you?
Fairly realistic. I think, I slipped up a couple times recently, but in the past it hadn't been a problem.
Okay, and reality is condoms aren't for everybody. I mean, they're used for prevention, right? But you know yourself better than most people. And if you feel like, quote, you've slipped up before and condoms are something that you can incorporate, sex might not be on your radar right now, but how often would you say you'd be able to use, how confident are you in using condoms in the future?
I don't know. I mean, you're right. I'm not really thinking about it right now.
Sure. And so part of getting you into care, and again, it will vary from one organization to another, but they set up an appointment, they do some more testing to ensure that they have your strand because they want to give you the proper medication for your diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
You may not get that medication immediately, so please just kind of be mindful of your health, right?
Uh-huh.
Your immune system's been compromised. A lot of people want to go to the gym and start working out hard. What are some issues with that? Well, you're around germs and bacteria and things that can also play a part in compromising your already compromised immune system, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of be mindful of that. If you feel yourself not feeling well, please make note of that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have you go ahead and sign here. This form is not binding by any means, but what it means is that you're giving us permission to work with you to get you into care.
Okay.
Okay? What questions do you have about this form?
So you are going to put me in touch with someone else, or you're going to help me?
Great question. So this form makes it official that we can move forward after this conversation to work on getting you into care with one of our organizations in the community.
So you'll help me make an appointment?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Okay? What other questions do you have about this form?
No, that's it. Oh, actually, so what happens after I get connected to care? Does that go away?
Oh, great question. So again, with the health department, this is a form linking us with whoever you're wanting to work with. That form is not a binding form, but it will stay available, I believe, for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just going to be a documented piece of information that allows us to coordinate care accordingly. You got testing done here. We just want to be able to send them that information over to kind of get you worked in.
Okay.
Okay, what other questions do you have?
That's it.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and sign there. All right, so Derek, we'll go ahead and start making that call now. How are you feeling?
I think I need to go drink.
Okay, you want to go drinking. Okay,
I mean, at home.
okay.
Yeah.
You're ready to go home and go drinking.
Yes.
That's a way that some folks cope with this. That's a reality. Do you feel like you're going to harm yourself or others?
No.
Okay.
No, I just need to sit cocktail nap.
Okay, fair enough. Let's, we can definitely put this on pause right now if you'd like, but I will be following up with you tomorrow as we discuss the plan of action with getting that information for your previous partners that you named, some contact information that you shared, and also if you have any other questions that come up as well. So I'll be reaching out to you tomorrow. What's the best time, considering that you're still working, what would be the best time to follow back up with you?
I work a morning shift tomorrow, so after 2.
After 2 p.m. And your phone, it has voice messaging set up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll put this on pause, but thank you so much for your time. We're gonna work on getting you into care, okay?
Okay.